All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Giancarlo and Simon Zierk will have the front row. Mike Dalling and Graham Bardsley starting on the second row. Avery Walker, Harry Volsmir have the third row. Yannick Gunther and Max Gunther did not even take to the track in qualifying. They start on the back row. I expect to see the Porsches playing it a little bit safe due to that. They stack up on the straightaway. The start-finish line for this one will be on the GP start-finish line. The interesting question is, will race one be 1 or 2 laps, or I'm sorry, 2 or 3 laps this morning? It all comes down to how fast that first lap is for the leader. Looks like everybody but Harry getting stacked up, just waiting on Harry to get gridded. Everybody making fuel adjustments, making sure they have a full fuel load. And you know, in race 2, they will have to make a fuel stop. We normally see that having a big impact on these GT3 races, but I don't think it will this morning. I think by the time they go in for their fuel stop this morning, well, the race will be close to decided. Here we go, rolling off for a little bit of the warm-up lap. The joke that everybody was making, they were glad it was not a full formation lap this morning. That would have taken forever. Two BMWs out front, then an Audi, Ferrari, BMW, Audi, and the 2 Porsches at the back. One of the big deciding factors this morning could be off tracks. Expect to see quite a few. Track temperature currently 88 degrees, but remember, it is different at every point on this track. That track temperature is different. One of the conversations is this morning was talking about the upcoming weather that will be added to iRacing. At this particular track, you could practically have snow at one end and sun at the other. Everybody headed toward the GP circuit and the start-finish line where this party will get started. Giancarlo in control out front, ready to rock. Pace car pulls in. Here we go. And they are away. Green flag is in the air. Giancarlo shoots to the lead. Into turn 1. Note that it is not the sharper of the GP turn 1 versions here. Simon, we've got a wreck back behind. Mike Dalling, Graham Bardsley, Harry Volsmir. A lot of the field caught up in it. Oh, Dalling gets loose when everybody checks up. A lot of cars go around. Minimal damage, though. That does put Graham Bardsley now, who started up in 4th place, tail into the field. But as you heard Giancarlo mention, 1 to 2 seconds faster a lap. If not more, he is going to close that gap down quickly. Avery Walker currently runs in 3rd. The Porsches managed to come through the chaos. They are up to 4th and 5th. Volsmir in 6th. Mike Dolling back to 7th. Graham Bardsley in 8th. Giancarlo, a little breathing room out front already. And off the GP circuit, they are back on the Nordschleife. The brakes, the cars, the drivers are fully tested around here. Simon Zierk holding on to 2nd, currently 2nd in points. Avery Walker currently runs 3rd, came into this morning. Back 17th in points, having only raced to Detroit. He'll pick up a lot of ground this morning. Max Gunther, Yannick Gunther, now 4th and 5th. Volsmir in 6th, Dolling in 7th. Graham Bardsley has already caught back up to Mike Dolling. Graham already looking for a pass on Dolling here. Back down the hill into the low part of the track. Harry Volsmir all over the back bumper of Yannick Gunther. Giancarlo out front, pulling away from Simon Zierk. Avery Walker in 3rd, holding that 1.6 second gap. Max Gunther is the first to have an off track this morning. Looks like Max just overshoots the corner. A little bit of a drift on, loses a couple of positions. Graham Bardsley uses it to his advantage. He gets past Mike Dolling. Graham now up into 7th place after being caught in that turn 2 incident, and back to the back bumper of Max Gunther. Harry Volsmir, meanwhile, finds a way past Yannick Gunther. Yannick now back into 5th, Harry to 4th. Giancarlo's lead now 1.7 seconds over Simon Zierk. Avery Walker back in 3rd, about 1.7 seconds back. Harry in 4th, 5.7 seconds back. Max Gunther in 6th, Graham Bardsley in 7th. They are reeling in Yannick Gunther in 5th. These guys definitely flying around here this morning, and several parts of this track where the car does have a tendency to get a little light. Yannick coming through. Here we go, coming out of the carousel. The Audi has definitely had an advantage, it seems, coming out of the carousel here this morning. Noted it in practice. Seems to be able to get off there, get back on the power, and still maintain grip, and it looks like it just launches itself. Good morning, Mark and Jared. Avery Walker currently in third. Simon Zierk up to second, but Giancarlo continuing to lead. Simon, though, closing in as Max Gunther has had another off track. Oh! A hard lick for Max. See if we can see the start of this incident. Pushing that Porsche to... Oh, he gets off into the grass to the inside. Ends up hard into the outside wall. Significant front end damage. Max Gunther has taken it to pit road. Avery Walker has had a problem. Avery was in third, goes off track. Can't, almost gets it gathered up, but goes around. Quickly gets it towed. He was in third place. No, Avery, correction, Avery did not tow. He got the car rolling. Back to seventh. Yannick in fourth. Now has Graham Bardsley, who is reeling him in. Giancarlo out front, but Simon Zierk continues to close in. Now down to 1.3 seconds. Down the straightaway. The Ferrari of Harry Volsmir now up into third. As mentioned, Harry won at Detroit last week. Harry is having a great season. Comes into this morning 7th in points. 10 points behind 6th and 11 points behind 5th. The run he's having this morning could move him up quite a bit. Avery Walker back in 7th place, but is still rolling. And it looks like race 1, I did not see a white flag, so it looks like race 1 will be a 3-lap race. It is funny to be talking about such low lap numbers, but when you consider a 15.65 mile lap, Graham Bardsley right in striking distance of 4th place. Yannick Gunther. Harry Volsmir up to 3rd now. Max Gunther still sitting on pit road. That is a long tow from where he was on the track. Giancarlo extending his lead as they turn back out to the Nordschleife. Currently 2 seconds over Simon Zierk. Hey, good morning, Richie. How you doing, buddy? Richie, why aren't you out here running the Nordschleife? Graham Bardsley is in a battle. He's going to take 4. Oh, no, Graham gets turned. Yannick Gunther and Graham Bardsley get together. Doling is by. See if we can see the start of this incident. Graham had already made a comeback. He gets down to the inside. And it looked like Yannick just gets a little bit of a push. Graham ends up towing to pit road. Max Gunther coming back out off pit road. Graham was expected to be one of the fastest this morning. Was the fastest in practice. We'll see in race 2, can he make a comeback, come out here and dominate? Richie, I have a feeling you do a whole heck of a lot better than me, buddy. Meanwhile, Giancarlo's lead now 2.5 seconds over Simon Zierk. Harry Volsmir in third, Dolling in fourth. Yannick Gunther in fifth, still able to keep rolling. Avery Walker in sixth, Max Gunther in seventh. Giancarlo continuing to extend that lead. Harry Volsmir not gaining much ground on the top two. Avery Walker back in sixth. Max Gunther in seventh place. The two BMWs seem to be the most planted cars on the track this morning. However, as we saw in practice, the Audis definitely have the advantage here. But the Audis have had zero luck this morning, along with the Porsches. Both Porsches, both Audis have had issues this morning. Giancarlo going back through the carousel here. Simon Zierk in second place. Harry Volsmir in third. Harry starting to gain a little bit of ground now on Simon Zierk, now 6.5 seconds back. Ferrari seems to make it through some of these tight corners a lot quicker. Just does not have the same straightaway speed and doesn't do as well in some of the high speed corners. Mike Dolling up to third now, or fourth rather. Yannick Gunther in fifth, 5.7 seconds back. Avery Walker had problems early on. In sixth, Max Gunther in seventh. Giancarlo headed out toward the straightaway. Let's see what kind of speeds we see out of him as he comes out of the carousel up to 100. Keeps increasing speed. One more turn and the long straightaway here. We saw 165 out of the Ferrari this morning. What does the BMW have down the straightaway? BMW hits 164 miles an hour, but now headed back uphill just a little bit. Down toward that final turn, 168 miles an hour is where that car seems to max out. See what Yannick in the one of the Porsches can do. Porsche seems even slower on the straightaway this morning. Only about 164 miles an hour. And the Audi topping out about 167. Giancarlo out on the white flag lap down around the GP circuit. And Avery just setting the fastest lap recorded this morning in the Audi, an 8:16.18. Race number 2 will be interesting with the full field, or with the top 7 inverted. Simon Zierk now 3.6 seconds behind the leader. Harry Volsmeer had been closing in, but seems to have stagnated about 5.5 seconds back in third. Mike Dalling in fourth. Yannick Gunther in fifth. Avery Walker currently in sixth, and Max Gunther. Oh, Max! Hold on to her. The Porsche's really struggling here this morning. Giancarlo back out on the Nordschleife and pulling away yet again. 4.25 seconds ahead of Simon Zierk now. Harry seems to, through the first couple miles of the Nordschleife, close the gap on the BMW ahead. But again, that straightaway speed in the last half of the Nordschleife seems to benefit the BMW. But wow, that Ferrari looks fast through there. Max Gunther is on pit road. The Audi of Avery Walker setting some of the fastest laps out there this morning. It seems like that may be the best car, at least right now, for the Nordschleife. And he is closing the gap on Yannick Gunther in fifth. He's 4.25 seconds back and gaining quickly. We've seen the Porsches really struggling this morning. As of right now, the two Porsches would start first and third place. Could make that first lap in race 2 very exciting. And it looks like Giancarlo has started to have a little bit of a blink a moment ago. Oh, Giancarlo is sending it. That car sliding as he gets on throttle. Simon a little bit more conservative as he heads back up the hill. Some of the drivers talked about just making sure they survived the race. Max Gunther came into this season on fire, winning both races at Sebring and the second race at Red Bull. Currently comes into the morning third in points. He missed Imola, he missed Donington. He is back in seventh. Today is going to be a rough points day for him. But the top two in points are running 1-2. Giancarlo leading, Simon Zierk in second, Volsmeer in third, Dalling in fourth, and Yannick Gunther in fifth. Although Yannick Gunther a minute ago had a 4 1/4 second lead, Avery is just smoking him around here. Avery now 2.7 seconds back. That Audi just insanely fast, and let's take a look from inside that car. See what part of a lap around the Nordschleife is like. These drivers on edge as they go down into the carousel. Hard back on the throttle and up out of there. A lot of turns around here are blind. You don't know, other than, even if you have the track memorized, you don't know what to expect coming out of any of these turns. And you can see Avery just running Yannick down quickly. The two Audis are definitely going to... Whoa! Yannick in the dirt! He manages to hang on to it. Race 2 is definitely going to be interesting. Giancarlo and Graham Bardsley, as of right now, will start at the tail end of the field and have to fight their way forward. Expected to see Graham out there leading in race 1, but got caught up with Yannick. Race 2, you know he is not going to lift. He is going to make his way to the front, and Giancarlo in the lead, blinking again. Simon Zierk in second. Harry is closing the gap in third. Avery still on the bumper of Yannick. Dalling in fourth, Yannick in fifth. As Giancarlo makes his way to the GP circuit and to the start-finish line. The last couple of corners onto the final straight. Giancarlo wins again. Simon Zierk will come home in second. Harry comes home third. Mike Dalling's going to come across the line in fourth. Avery does manage to get past Yannick. He is now in fifth. Yannick will come home sixth. Max Gunther in second. 7th, and Graham Bardsley will finish 8th. And that'll put the two Porsches starting first and second in race 2. That is going to get interesting. Let's see if we can talk to our top 3, starting with Harry. Hey Harry, it's Doug. You got me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey man, you kept it in one piece all morning, and that seemed to be all you needed to do.
Yeah, I'm looking at first lap. I don't know if I clipped someone. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Well, yeah, and then it was just follow.
and following seemed to work this morning. You managed to fight your way up into third, biggest mover of the race, and your season really is looking quite good so far.
Well, I don't drive for season. I drive race after race. So it's just fun.
Well, you're doing a great job, man. It was an awesome finish. Another podium for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Harry is a man of few words. Let's see if we can get a hold of second place, Simon Zier. Simon, did you have anything at all this morning for Giancarlo? It looked like at times you might have been able to close the gap.
No, Giancarlo was really fast. So if you look at the qualifying times, he was like, I think 5 seconds faster than me in qualifying. So yeah, the first lap was okay. I can keep up with him, but then he just drove away from me, and I had nothing to do against it.
Well, you did an excellent job. You managed to hold Harry off, and he was charging, but going into race 2, having to start from the back and seeing how race 1 went, are you concerned with getting through the field?
I hoped for the best, so that I could clear most of the field on the GP track, and then it's waiting until the next lap. So when you're on the straight at the end of the lap, then you can overtake, but not on the Nordschleife.
Well, another great job, man. You hold on to second. You continue to hold second in the points. Great job, and good luck in race 2.
Thank you.
Simon comes home second, and Giancarlo is going to win again. Giancarlo back in victory lane. Not a huge surprise.
Yeah, it was a long one. It really just came down to keeping it on the track. From the Discord chat, it seemed like there were issues to go around.
Yeah, there were quite a few, and I think race 2 will definitely be interesting because the 2 Porsches appear to be starting up front, and you guys have, well, they seem to have a lot of grip problems. You're going to have to fight through watching those cars sliding a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a test of patience. We're not trying to do anything rash or force any moves that are a low percentage chance. So we'll, take it very easy and just again survive is the main goal.
Well, you've got a decent points lead. The win here obviously extending it, so you have a little breathing room if you need to back off in this one.
That is good to know, because it may very well come to that.
Well, man, good luck. This is definitely going to be exciting watching you come through the field.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Giancarlo gets another win. I was just looking, I believe that was his 6th win of the season so far, basically averaging out to a win every week. So Giancarlo on a tear once again this season. Getting ready for race number 2. Stick around. We'll be back in just a second. Going to make one quick adjustment. See, told you we'd be right back. Just had to double check one thing, and yeah, 3 minutes left. I doubt we see anybody go out for warm-up in this one. So we'll get the sights of the track as we have about 2.5 minutes. You guys have just enough time to run to the snack bar, get some food, get some drink while you're standing in line. Make sure you hit that like, share, follow, subscribe. Plenty of share with all your friends and family. There's plenty of places for them to go watch this race from all over this track. And this definitely will be the more exciting of the 2 races, as some of the fastest guys will start from the back, and we saw the Porsches really struggling to find grip, especially through the Nordschleife this morning. It's gonna be exciting watching the Porsche start up front. And you heard Simon talk about he's gonna make all his moves coming through the GP circuit to have a chance to play it safe while he was out on the track, out on the Nordschleife. Giancarlo does extend his points lead once again this morning. Added another 3 points to his lead here. Puts him about 82 points ahead of Simon Zierk going into race 2. One of the most difficult things about this track, 170 turns, it is very, very difficult to memorize every single turn of this track. Track temperature has gone down a bit, now down to 83 at certain parts of the track. And let's hear your predictions in the comments. Who is going to pull it off? Can Giancarlo sweep the morning at the Nürburgring? Hey, good morning, Robert. Thanks for the like, and warm-up is over. It's time to go racing again. Race number 2 with the invert. We'll see Max and Yannick Gunther on the front row. Avery Walker, Mike Dolling on the second row. Harry Volsmir, Simon Zierk have the third row. Giancarlo and Graham Bardsley, the 2 fastest all morning, starting tail into the field. These 2 have a fight ahead. Looking closely, the 2 Porsches obviously struggling the most this morning. Can't find grip, especially on the Nordschleife. But the Audi of Avery Walker starting in 3rd and the Audi of Graham Bardsley starting in 8th. Those were the 2 The Audis were the fastest cars. Simon Zierk, Giancarlo, and Mike Dolling, BMWs in 3rd, 5th, and 7th. And Harry Volsmir put on one heck of a show in that Ferrari. Seriously impressed with how fast that Ferrari is this morning. All the drivers trying to get some heat in the tires, in the brakes, in everything. Graham Bardsley hanging back just a hair, getting situated on the straight. How are you doing this morning, Robert? Hope everybody is doing great, and hope everybody's ready for this one. Race number 1 had a lot of excitement on that first lap. Race number 2, this is going to get even more exciting. The field is inverted. The Porsches have been struggling the most here this morning. They're going to start up front. And the 2 fastest drivers all morning, Giancarlo and Graham Bardsley, starting at the back. Looks like Graham is actually going to hang back just a hair, give himself some breathing room on this start. Max comes out of that final turn. Looks like they are beginning to fire as soon as they hit the GP circuit. Here we go. Everybody's stacked up, ready to go. Green flag is in the air now. Max gets a good jump. Avery Walker in the Audi quickly to second. Down into turn one, a lot of side-by-side. A close call for Harry, close call for Simon. Everybody makes it through 1 and 2 this time. But still some side-by-side. Dolling and Zierk side-by-side. Harry Volsmeer is charged up to third now. Yannick Gunther sliding back into fourth. The BMWs, all three of them, nose to tail, side by side as they go through the GP corners. Simon said he wanted to pick up as many positions as possible on the GP circuit, has not picked up any. Graham Bardsley in the Audi back behind. He gave himself some breathing room on the start. Expect him to charge forward. Lap 1 was chaotic last time. As Avery Walker takes his Audi to the lead. And Harry Volsmeer slips by into second. That moves Max Gunther to third and Yannick back to fourth. Through the chicane, and here we go. Avery leads them out onto the Nordschleife. Yannick Gunther, Max Gunther, Giancarlo involved in an incident. Yannick looks down to the wow, the two Porsches get together, turning off onto the Nordschleife. Giancarlo has to stop. The big winner on that one. Graham Bardsley charges through. Graham Bardsley already up into 5th place. Looks like his strategy, he hung back a second and a half from the field, and it has paid off this time. He's only 9 seconds behind the leader, and he is smoking. He is gaining ground. 2.8 seconds behind Simon Zierk in fourth, Dolling in third. Volsmeer now up to second. He has his sights set on the leader, Avery Walker. But the Audis have definitely been the fastest car around the track. And what about the winner of race 1 after having to stop to avoid the Porsches? Giancarlo is in 7th place. Simon Zierk trying to reel in Mike Dolling. Dolling in third, 1.5 seconds ahead. Simon is gaining ground. Harry Volsmeer and Avery Walker within a second of each other. Would not be surprised to see either of these drivers win. Harry's season has just been real. Every race he's been here, he has been in contention. And again, some of these drivers will be competing in the 24-hour event coming up. So this is great practice for a lot of them. Several of them tried different cars in preparation for this morning. And I'm wondering how many of those teams will be in the Audi for that event. Mike Dolling now going to have Mike Dolling, the Minister of Defense, is now going to have to play a lot of defense. Simon Zierk is there. And both of them better move because the Audi of Graham Bardsley in 5th place is now under 2 seconds behind and running them down like crazy. Harry Volsmere closing the gap. Hey, good morning, JR. Good morning, Dakota. How you been, bud? Harry Volsmere has caught, oh, a little bobble out of Harry, but he is caught to the back bumper of Avery Walker. That Ferrari has been fast through the tight sections, seems to suffer with straightaway speed, but if he can stay there tucked in, when they hit that long straightaway, he might be able to hang with him. Dolling in third has Simon Zierk right on his bumper. Now watch this. Watch this Audi closely through the carousels. He just launches that car out. Two of the BMWs sitting third and fourth. Max Gunther has had an off-track back behind. Seen a lot fewer off-tracks than any of the drivers expected this morning. Max really out of shape. That Porsche has struggled all morning long. Both Porsches have had trouble with grip, with rear grip coming out of the corners. Mike Dolling, the Minister of Defense, still holding Simon off, sitting in third. Harry Volsmere losing a little bit of ground to Avery here. Wow, Avery catching some air coming down the hill. Several spots on this track where you can get a car light, and sometimes, if you have enough speed, that car will catch air. Graham Bardsley managed to play it safe early in lap one. Avoided the chaos coming out onto the Nordschleife, picked up a bunch of spots, and is now running everybody down. The Ferrari of Harry Volsmere not able to stay in the tow of the Audi at the moment. Currently 1.1 seconds back. It looks like he is getting a little bit of tow. He is closing the gap just a little bit. Just by hundredths of a second, but he was gaining ground on the Audi. Graham Bardsley, the other Audi, definitely has the straightaway speed over the BMWs. We'll see if he can close the gap on Dolling and Zierk. Avery Walker won race one last week at Detroit, looking to get the win here this morning. Down through the bottom of the GP circuit, Harry still staying there. Max Gunther is on his way into pit road. We know he can take enough fuel from here to go the distance in this race. Harry in second, Dolling in third, Simon in fourth, Bardsley in fifth. Giancarlo back in sixth, Yannick in seventh. Giancarlo, a lot of ground to make up here after having to stop as they came out onto the Nordschleife. Back out onto the Nordschleife for the top 3, now 4. Here comes Bardsley, he's pulling back out. Graham now 1.5 seconds behind that battle for 3rd place. Avery Walker trying to put some distance between himself and Harry Volsmere. Giancarlo still trying to close the gap on the cars ahead. Giancarlo currently running 6th, 3.4 seconds behind the Audi of Graham Bardsley. Graham now less than a second behind Simon Zierk and Mike Dalling. Avery looked like he was away like a rocket once he took the lead. Looked like he was going to run away with this, but Harry has managed to hang. And they have pulled an 8.25 second gap over 3rd place Mike Dalling. The Audi out front, the Ferrari in 2nd, BMW's 3rd and 4th, Audi in 5th, BMW in 6th, and the Porsche's really struggling this morning in 7th and 8th. They have struggled with rear grip all through the Nordschleife. And here we go, Harry's looking for the lead. Harry gets the momentum as they go up the hill. Can he do it? Can't complete the pass, but Avery definitely knows he is there and he has got the speed. And Harry just said he is just out here having fun this morning. He is having a lot of it. The Ferrari looks to the outside this time, and he's got the momentum. He's going to be on the inside as they go left. Avery backs. Oh, no! Harry gets off into the grass. He holds on to it. Mike Dalling, Simon Zierk, Graham Bardsley has caught them. Giancarlo also gaining ground from behind, 2.5 seconds back. Avery gets a little breathing room, 1.5 seconds now on Harry after Harry going off in the grass. Does look like the car took minimal right side damage. Oh no, it looks fairly heavy now that we get a good look at the right side of that Ferrari. You have to wonder, how much is it affecting the handling? Downforce is crucial at this racetrack. Simon Zierk starting to lose a little bit of ground to Mike Dalling. Dalling in 3rd. And Avery has got himself some breathing room now. 2.4 seconds. Back to second place, Harry Volsmere. How many drivers do we see on pit road this time? Max Gunther was the first one to come to pit road for his fuel stop. He's now back in 8th. We'll see how that plays out. Max continues to try and reel in Yannick in 7th. Avery on the long straightaway now is a 3.2 second lead. Mike Dowling in 4th, Simon Zierke in 5th. Bardsley looking for the move here, and Giancarlo has caught him. Harry Volsmere is on pit road for his stop. Mike Dowling is not in. Nobody else comes in. Harry will be the second driver to hit pit road. Harry did have some damage on the right side of that Ferrari. He's going to get that fixed. That gives Avery a lot of breathing room. And Giancarlo just set the fastest lap in 8:15.65. Can Giancarlo make up the gap, though, to Avery Walker and sweep the morning? Avery almost 13 seconds ahead, actually now 13 seconds ahead of Giancarlo. But remember, only 2 drivers have been to pit road, Harry Volsmere and Max Gunther. Now that Avery has some breathing room as he heads for the Nordschleife, does he back out a little bit to play it safe here? Max Gunther is back on pit road. Did he not take enough fuel last lap? Avery Walker's got to be loving what's going on behind him. He has pulled out to an 11.5 second gap. Mike Dowling in 2nd, Simon Zierke in 3rd, Graham Bardsley in 4th, Giancarlo in 5th, all within 1.5 seconds of each other. Graham has been trying to set up the pass on Simon Zierke for about half a lap now. The Audi has the straightaway speed advantage. The really interesting part of this is while a lot of these drivers are using custom setups, Graham Bardsley is running the baseline setup this morning. Giancarlo, a little bit of a blink. As Dowling making a little bit of a gap on Zierke again. Avery Walker does not appear to have backed off at all, even with that big gap. He has continued to expand it almost 12 seconds now. Max Gunther came into this morning third in points, but has been to pit road twice already in this race. And is now 1 minute 37 behind Harry Volsmir in 7th. Harry has completed his fuel stop. The top 6 still have to come to pit road. Just past the halfway point, Avery in the lead. Mike Dolling and Giancarlo have crashed. Oh, Dolling gets way out of shape coming around. Several cars avoid. Oh, Graham Bardsley does get some of the wall. Bardsley has made it to 3rd, but there is right side damage on that Audi. I would expect to see him on pit road for fuel and repairs this time. Mike Dolling and Giancarlo have both towed. Simon Zierk in 2nd place. Avery now a 14.5 second lead. Let's take a look at Giancarlo again. It looked like he just had ran out of places to go here. Graham gets by, gets the grass, and a hard hit into the fence. Giancarlo's car is toast. Mike Dolling stops partway up the hill and gets a tow to pit road as well. Simon Zierk now 15 seconds behind leader Avery Walker, but has a 10-second gap on Bardsley. Looks like that right side damage is affecting the speed on that car. Yannick Gunther 13 seconds back and gaining. Harry Volsmir in 5th after completing his pit stop. Max Gunther now up into... Oh, Max is in the wall again. The Porsche is struggling so much here this morning. The BMW comes down, Simon Zierk comes in and out of the carousel. Graham Bardsley in the Audis, losing some ground here with the damage on the right. Obviously a little slower out of the carousel, could not get the same launch we have seen out of that Audi all morning. Fuel stop still coming. Will we see the leader in this time? And yes, Avery Walker is on pit road. Does the rest of the field come in this time? We know Graham Bardsley will be in. He'll need repairs. He'll get a quick repair. Simon Zierk is in. Graham Bardsley is in. Harry Volsmere now runs in fourth. He has completed his stop. Yannick Gunther back in fifth. Does he stop this time? Yannick is in. Avery on his way off pit road. Here comes Harry. Simon Zierk on his way out. Yannick about to hit his pit stall. Max Gunther trying to make up some ground here. Yannick hitting his pit box. Bardsley in his. That car is repaired. And it looks like Giancarlo is getting his repairs. Bardsley is rolling now. Graham off pit road. Simon Zierk. It looks like everybody will have completed their stops. But Avery Walker, despite a good stop here, lost a lot of ground because Harry is now back to his bumper, 1.3 seconds behind. Simon Zierk now in third. Graham Bardsley in fourth. Lost a lot of time on that last lap with the damage. Yannick Gunther in fifth. Max Gunther in sixth. Avery turns it back out to the Nordschleife. But that Ferrari has been able to stay in the tire tracks of the Audi all morning long. And as we saw earlier in the race, if he can be in his tire tracks, when he hits the straightaway, he can actually pick up some and make up for the straight line speed difference. Avery trying to pull a gap and make sure that he does not, Harry does not have the opportunity to get into his slipstream. The top two nose to tail, but the rest of the field, and Avery is pulling away. Almost a 2-second gap now. Mike Dolling is back out on track. That car has been repaired. Giancarlo still sits on pit road. Will the points leader make it back out this morning is the big question. He was very thankful for winning race number 1. It gave him a little bit more of a buffer coming into this. And we heard him repeat, Max Gunther has crashed. Max Gunther has crashed and gone to pit road. Oh, the car just gets out of shape, a hard hit into the wall. The whole left side of that car was torn up. He tows it in. Avery has been able to pull out to a 2-second gap, but through certain parts of this track, Harry just runs him back down. Harry needs to get within a second of him before they get to the long straightaway to have any chance of staying in his slipstream and getting a chance at the win. And Harry is closing that gap quickly, now down to 1 3/4 of a second. Simon Zierk Curley sits in third, Bardsley in fourth, Yannick in fifth. Harry is really closing that gap now, down to 1.3 seconds. Harry lost a lot of ground through that section. Avery able to pull out to 1.9. Harry is definitely pushing that car right to the edge, though. This is quite a game of back and forth as these two, one pulls away, one reels him in. Simon Zierk now in third has a 19.1 second gap on Graham Bardsley in fourth. Bardsley now pulling a 13.5 second gap on Yannick Gunther in fifth. Mike Dalling back in sixth. Giancarlo back out on track in seventh. Max Gunther in eighth. Max still on pit road. Avery back up out of the carousel. Harry trying to close the gap before they get to the straight. Avery Walker will get the most speed. That Audi has the most straightaway speed this morning. The Ferrari still trying to pull up, and it looks like he is catching just a little bit of the slipstream here. .167, 160. He's definitely catching a little bit of the slipstream there at the end of the straight. Harry Volsmeer just set the fastest lap of the race, 8:14.64. We'll watch as Graham Bardsley comes through. See if he sees the white flag, or will they go another lap? I did not see Barney with a white flag. Giancarlo has gone off track. He has had a problem. The points leader has struggled, won the first race, but has struggled in the second. Oh, going down the hill hard into the outside, and then hard back to the inside. There is so little room for error here at the Nürburgring. Harry Volsmeer has caught back up to Avery Walker. With the fastest lap of the morning, Harry ran at 8:14.64. He's the only driver to get under 8:15 this morning. Simon Zierk doing exactly what he needs to do here this morning. Currently sits in third with Giancarlo back on pit road in 8th place. Simon stands to make up quite a few points this morning. Simon will make up about 14 points just from race number 2. An 11-point gain overall between both races this morning. Harry now looking for a pass for the lead. Can he do it? He's got the run. They're going side by side. Oh, Harry's in the grass. Harry's in the fence. Harry's going across. Oh, no, Harry. Hard hit into the wall. Trying to get the car corrected and moving again. Heavy damage to that Ferrari. I'm not sure the engine will make it. Let's hop and dial up his in-car camera. That car is definitely not handling correctly. And definitely seems like it is down on power. What a hard hit from one of the fastest guys out here this morning. Looked like that Ferrari would go where he wanted. Did everything he wanted. He was battling for the lead. Oh, Harry's in the wall again. Harry can't get it going. He pulls aside. Simon goes by. Harry is towed to pit road. He was battling for the lead. Now he is on pit road in 6th. And what a heartbreak. What a close call. Also for Avery Walker. Because watch what happens here. Right in front of Avery. Avery had just enough time to react. That moves Simon Zierk up into 2nd. Graham Bardsley now 3rd. Yannick Gunther in 4th. Mike Dolick in 5th. The Audis have seemed unstoppable this morning. Bad luck has kept them out of victory lane, but could Avery get it done here? And Simon Zierk, the most consistent driver out there, currently running in 2nd place. Giancarlo back on pit road. Simon stands to make up even more points. He'll make up almost 20 points this morning. And at the halfway point in the season, this is going to be a huge morning for him. Simon continues to be consistent week in and week out, season in and season out. But every season he continues to move up the ranks. Could this finally be Simon's time to shine and win a title? Despite a 16-second lead over Graham Bardsley in third, Simon has not backed off an inch. Neither has Avery Walker. Avery with a 16.5-second lead over Simon heads toward the straightaway. Graham Bardsley in the waning laps of this one has moved up into third place and is closing the gap on Zierk. But Avery Walker coming toward the GP circuit. The checkered flag is in the air. Avery Walker will win at the Nürburgring, and he is happy. Simon Zierk's going to come into the final straightaway and come home in second. And Graham Bardsley on the long stretch will come home in third. And that is quite a comeback for him, given everything he went through this morning. A big, big win for Avery Walker here today. And let's see. We'll see if we can get second place Simon Zierk. We'll see if we get an opportunity to talk to Graham this morning after Simon. Hey, Simon, it's Doug. You got me?
Hello, Doug.
Hey, a great job. And again, just the most consistent driver out there puts you up to second in the race.
Oh, I had so much luck in this race to get to second place. I was stuck behind Mike, and then down at Breitscheid Bridge, I saw Mike's back stepping out, and then he took a left turn into the wall. But luckily, I just came away with it. So I found a spot to pass Mike there. Yeah, and then, what was it? Giancarlo in front, fighting with Avery. Oh no, it was Harry, not Giancarlo. Yeah. And then I got good luck there, and so it's now second place.
Well, you pick up some ground on Giancarlo. Giancarlo having no luck this morning. Obviously, you pick up some ground in the points there as well. This could very well be your season every week. You just seem to start getting faster and faster.
I hope so.
Well, great job, man. Great podium finish. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Doc.
Simon Zierk comes home in third, and we'll talk to our winner. Avery, man, that was quite a win. That Audi was just, it didn't look like that car slipped all morning.
Yeah, the car felt awesome. That's the reason I chose it. I know the team's probably going to use the BMW for the 24-hour, but the Audi just feels so good around here.
It did look, we noticed it when watching Graham in practice, but then started noticing it with you during the race. Coming out of the carousel, it was almost like that car just launched out of the carousel at full speed.
Yeah, it's the mid. I'd say it's no surprise that Harry and I were leading because mid-engine cars and like the rotation is just so good. On that note, I just want to say like that was an awesome race with Harry. He kept me honest. He had two very bold moves, I will say, but they were incredible. So I'm glad it worked out.
I have to say, man, there was a big pucker moment for you there when Harry was battling for the lead, and it looked like he had it, but it looked close, but you had enough time to brake before he came across the track on you.
Yeah, that was scary. Definitely VR helps with that because, we're talking on voice chat as he's going for it, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I look to my right in VR and I see him going off. And I realize, because I've done that same mistake a million times, that he's probably not going to stop before he gets to that turn. So I was just staring at him in VR and I just waited for him to cross the track before I went.
Well, it worked out, man. A big, big win here this morning. That was definitely a tough race. You had some of the fastest laps out there and managed to get another win. Congratulations, Avery.
Thank you.
Avery Walker gets the win. Wow, what a morning of racing it was. Don't forget to come back tonight. A doubleheader BRR Cup Series followed by the 3-wide Gen 4 League. A great night of racing after a great morning of racing. Sunday's just great racing overall. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will see you guys tonight. Have a great day, everybody.